All right. Hello, everyone. I'm really tired right now. Spent the entire day out, but I still wanted to get on the stream because I'd feel bad if I said I'd be learning Japanese and end up taking even a day. Felt kind of off. And if I'm learning it from Genki, then I thought it would be good if I'd be able to stream every time I do study from the textbook. I think if I go back to uh, if I go back to Renshu stuff, I can probably do that off stream, because most of it would end up just being me trying to struggle through the ones I don't know, and then just reiterating like the kanji and Chinese similarities over and over again, which I think at some point would end up being kind of redundant, right? I'm kind of I'm kind of wondering how I can make it so that my u and the katakana ra would end up looking different enough from each other. But I think its context is already probably enough. Yeah, so today I woke up like noon, well, close to 1 p.m. because my friend from LA was coming down because he's going to be seeing off a postdoc that's leaving from his lab to go back to their home country, because they were here for their postdoc and maybe their PhD internationally. Yeah, because it is kind of a thing where the degree from American universities is actually pretty prestigious when it comes to the higher education past college. Even with college, some of the degrees would probably be quite coveted. Yeah, so he came to pick me up because he drove down anyway. And then we went to meet up with Brian to get some Sichuan food. Coincidentally, both of them are Brian. Yeah, the one who came from LA is in a different lab, but my lab's Brian introduced me to this Brian because they were very good friends throughout their PhD. Even on their visitation day, they had already been getting along when they met. So we met up for Sichuan. My lab's Brian had gotten there a bit later because he's coming in from a different city, and the drive just happened to be pretty bad. Yeah, even when I was getting over there with LA Brian, it took a little bit to get through the traffic. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm really tired. I still might play like a league game after this too, just to de-stress a bit more. Oh, yeah. Ni. And then after that, we went to get. Oh yeah, so because the postdoc is leaving, LA Brian needed a gift for them, so we headed over to get some of that stuff as well as the card. And then after that, we went to get some bubble tea. I had a free drink at this place, so made use of that. Got a pretty stacked drink. And it ended up being pretty good. I think I probably could have gotten a better combination of stuff. And I also kind of forgot to mix it, so the sweetness was out of whack throughout the drink. A little mishap on my part. And then yeah, so then after that we got some beef noodle soup at another local restaurant before we parted ways. And oh wait, no, we also went to karaoke. That's why I'm so tired and my voice is shot. Yeah, I'll talk about the karaoke in a bit. Do. De. That looks like ne. Yeah. I don't want to get this little curve mixed up with this corner. And then we have the ro. Ro ro ro. Yeah, so right after Sichuan, we went to a nearby karaoke place. It was the one that LA Brian and I had been going to quite a bit. Although my labs Brian is not so keen on singing. So it was just me and LA Brian belting out notes. But the problem there is that my lungs were already kind of mucusy, to put it in the most accurate way possible. So I ended up spending most of the time just like kind of struggling to breathe in enough in order to actually sing properly. And I think I need to work on my my breathing and my note holding. I guess the higher notes especially, because I ended up putting a lot of strain on my throat. So I think my voice is probably going to be shot tomorrow, like actually straight up shot tomorrow. So even if I do stream tomorrow, it's probably not going to be like. I don't think I would be able to keep up a very happy voice, or any voice. Maybe a cough drop will help by that point. So I'm gonna try to take it a bit easier now for my voice. Yeah, karaoke was quite fun. I think the place like expanded their song roster quite a lot. Because before they had the books, and it's like a Korean run place, so most of the books were all in Korean, which absolutely did not do well for my ability to find the songs that I like to sing. If I could read Korean, I think I could probably just like, yeah, choose some of the ones that I'm familiar with from like K-pop listening and stuff. And thankfully they've expanded the song list. So now there's actually like, oh yeah, so sorry. The books would have like all the Korean songs, and then there would be like small parts at the end of each like section with some English songs. But the thing is that the English songs were like all over the place, like genre wise, time wise, stuff like that. So a lot of the time beforehand, when I used to go with LA Brand, I would spend a lot of time just trying to find songs that I knew in the first place, or like, and especially if I could like sing them, right? So it was very much a struggle at that time. So like I had to like keep a notepad with all the song numbers, just so that I could save time. What was te? A telephone. Toll. So now what they have is they actually break it up by language, like formally by language. So all the Korean songs are listed first, and then there's a bunch more songs now, but they're all listed in one section for like English songs. So I definitely made use of that. Okay, cool. I shall. I do still think that at karaoke, my favorite songs to sing are the ones where I don't even sing in the first place, where I can just rap. So like "Humble" by Kendrick Lamar is one I've known for a while. I've learned the lyrics to "Airplanes," Haley Williams and B.O.B. Before "Airplanes" became slightly a meme, or like also just better known or more played again. Because there's a lot of songs that just like from around the 2000s and early 2010s that got like a revival in the current age. Some for better or worse in terms of why they came back. And for Airplanes, I happen to just. I mean, I liked the song a lot before when I was growing up. So I decided to just learn the lyrics while walking my family's dog one time. Ne. No. Well, I say one time. It was probably like dispersed over two walks. Um, and then there are a couple lyrics like "Get a Tip at Subway," and then "Decatur" I didn't know about until I looked up the lyrics. So it's a pretty easy rap to learn. I mean, you could probably do it if you didn't even know the lyrics, except for that. What was it? Guessing that if we can make some wishes out of airplanes, maybe kind of that part. There's a little bit with slightly faster rap than the rest of the song. May. Well. But one song that I happen to be able to find because I can read kana now is "Kato Omoi" by Aimer. Unfortunately, I don't know the lyrics, and also when you first read lyrics that are romanized, because I can't read the kana fast enough, I could only find the song name through reading the kana. So I relied on some romanizations, and that didn't work out too well. Because there's a lot of like times where some of the syllables are like grouped together or they're like said very quickly. So if I could like reference the kana that was on the lyrics on the screen and also reference the romanizations together, that would have been a lot easier. But I was like looking down my phone for the lyrics and then I couldn't tell what part to sing. Cause like karaoke, the lyrics do light up, which really, really helps for keeping track of that stuff. What was the do? Do. Do. Le. Lo. Ro. Yeah. LA Brian seemed to like the song, so I'm glad to be able to introduce that to him. Because it's a really nice song. It's the first Aimer song that I heard. I don't remember. I think it was because Nanashi Mume from Hololive was singing when she around the time that she debuted last year, and some people likened her like kind of like folk / indie style of singing to Amer's style of singing. At least in like timbre and I guess to a degree intonation as well. Which I'm really happy about because yeah, Amer singing is one of those voices that's down my alley for enjoyment. You, ko, yeah, koma kana no. Okay, good. Kana practice done. Okay, time for Genki. It's always nice to be able to introduce, new music. Okay, so now I'm onto the, what page is this? Page 15 in the workbook. Translating a couple things. So this is 1.3, noun, null, noun, and then x, y, this. First one is Japanese student. So that would be Nihon no gakusei. So Nihon no gakusei. So that's number one. Number two, Takeshi's telephone number. So that'd be Takeshi no denwa for telephone. Denwa. What was wa? Wasp. Denwa. Bango. Ba. So ha turns into a ba. Go. U. Bango. Bango. And if it was like Genki's way of writing it, it would be bango. O. But then if you look at the kana, this is the u kana. So it would be bango u. Right. Third is my friend. Most people would probably use watashi no tomodachi. Ta becomes da. Chi. Hey. My no friend. Tomodachi. Atashi no tomodachi. One thing I want to figure out is the difference between watashi and atashi. So if you go watch Dogen's video on this watashi, right? He brings up a point about the actual Japanese accent. So all of these romanizations, just like any other language, are not going to be directly reflective of the pronunciation in the language itself. So it's the closest thing that we can get in the English alphabet, right? Now, Dogen explains that watashi, right? If you first look at this through the romanization, you would think it's watashi, right? Where the wa is a very pronounced wa, right? But then when you actually pronounce it in the Japanese intonation, the wa, your lips kind of like spread out horizontally a bit. So the wa, the hard W, actually becomes kind of like a soft W. So it would sound closer to atashi. But then I think there's also there's that like soft W, so watashi, but it would be softer. So wata instead of watashi, it would be atashi, watashi, something like that. But then I would wonder how you can distinguish between the watashi in the actual Japanese intonation and just atashi, because the W is so soft, right? Very interesting stuff. Okay. Next is English language teacher. So English language would be eigo. I think that would just be ei, a, go, no. Ko becomes go. No. Sensei. Sensei. And then Michiko's major. So, oh shoot, what was major? This is one thing I probably should have remembered from the vocab, if anything. Majors. Senko. Gonna take a look at the kanji for that. Major. What is this in Chinese? Zhuanggong. Translate to English is graduate school. Thank you, Google Translate. That's that doesn't sound about right. Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Let's check out the Word Hippo translation here. It is graduate school. The hell? Dang. Okay, whatever. So Michiko no Senko. We have Michiko. Ko. Michiko. Ko. Oh wait, cohabitation. Michiko no Senko. Okay. Using the framework X, Y, des. Translate the following sentence into the Japanese. Okay. Miss Ogawa is Japanese. Okay, so we have O. Oop, that looks like a su. O, ga. Ka becomes ga. Wa. Oh. San for miss. So we had san. Wa. Nihonjin desu. So instead of just saying Japanese, say Japanese person. So we have ni ho jin. So she becomes ji, and then you add an jin. This means person. That's wrong direction. Jin. This can also be read as hito, Hito, ito. Well, I should probably, yeah, hito. And then we have des, right? Mr. Takeda is a teacher. So we have ta, ke, da. Ta becomes da. San. Make the curve a bit sharper upwards. Wa. Let's break this up a bit more. Wa. Sen. Sei. This. Okay. Oh wait, period. Looks like even for questions, they still use a period. Because I guess question marks weren't like developed in the formal Japanese language before. Although I would believe that nowadays, if you were to like teach a native English speaker, or well, any speaker that uses a question mark in their native language, you might actually see the question marks there. Okay, 3 is I am an international student. Watashi. Gotta stop doing that. I keep thinking it's like you draw the line and then there's this, right? But the actual way you write it is you start with this line and then you do 1, 2, 3, all in one stroke. Da-da, do. Right. Watashi wa. Okay. So then we have international student. So that is going to be ryōgakusei. Now is it ryō or ryu? Either way, you'll start with the ri. And now it's a question of if this is either ryo. Oh, if this is either ryo ryo, or if it's ryu. I think it's ryo, so I'll write ryo. I'll check my answer later. Ryo gaku, so ka becomes ga. Gaku sei ryōgakusei. Ne. Okay, desu. Haruna is a first year student. So we have haru na. None. Haruna wa 1年生. So we have ichi, which means first or one. Nen, which means year. Ichinen sei for student. So you'd have first year student. Okay. 1年生 です. Next we have Miss Yamamoto is 25 years old. So we'll have Yamamoto san wa. Okay, so 25 years old. So we'll have 210, 5, right? So it's going to be 20 She becomes ji, and then we add on the yu, jiu, right? So instead of jiu, if you read the u smaller, it signifies that these should be read together. So jiu becomes ju, right? Niju go for 5. And then we have years old for the age. So that would in kana be sai, sa, i. Des. Now the kanji is the same as it is in Chinese, but I kind of forget what the kanji is here for sai. Right. Okay, so now my major is Japanese, right? So now they're adding on a bit more complexity. So instead of having a direct noun, X, so like Yamamoto-san, that's just one compound noun for X. Now we have my major, right? It's not just major is Japanese, it's my major is Japanese, okay? So I need to have a possessive here. So I'll add in who is possessing it, right? So that'd be watashi for my. And I'll add in this no for the possessive. And then major. We have sen, ko, right? So that by itself, watashi no senko, that would be the subject of the sentence, or the X of the sentence, right? Up here at the top, we have X. And now we have wa. And then we have Japanese, or you could say Japanese language to mirror the English language that they refer to in question 4 over here, right? This question 4. So Nihongo. So Nihongo desu. Okay, awesome. So let me check the international student right now. Okay, so I was wrong here, I think it was. Yeah, so here, ryugakuse, right? This should actually be ryu, right? Ryu, not ryo. Okay. Okay. Next we have question sentences. Ask the right questions in each of the following exchanges. Okay. So we have Kimura as our respondent. So the first one says 4年生 desu. So that would be yo, yonen, right? Yo refers to 4, nen is again year, and then sei would be student. I am a 4th year student, replies Kimura. So the question I'm going to be asking is, what year student are you? Do they use anata for you in here? Oh wait, actually, I didn't end up studying this part of the textbook. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. So they imply the subject as Kimura. So at this point, all you have to ask is, what year are you? What year? And that's it. What year student? Instead of, what year student are you? In which case it would be like, Kimura wa nannensei desu ka? Right. So we can leave out the Kimura wa and just say nannensei desu ka? So that would be na n for what. This is this kanji here. What? Nensei. Ne n sei desu ka? Desu ka. Okay. Number 2, Kimura responds, Rekishi desu. So rekishi is history. So you would ask, what is your major? So instead of just saying nannensei, what year student, now we have to ask what the major is. So I think the way of saying that like makes sense in my mind would be senkou wa nan desu ka, right? Because I think it's because this nensei, right, is an adjective or a characteristic of the person that you are referring to, right? What year student, right? I'm a first year student. I'm a first year student, right? So here, I is the subject of the sentence, and first year student is a modifier or characteristic of the subject, right? I am the subject, and I am a first year student, right? But now, instead of having Kimura be the subject, right? So let me switch this sentence to a better example to reflect this. So here we would have Kimura is a, right? So Kimura is the actual subject of the sentence. So in this case, yeah, Kimura, the nensei is modifying Kimura. So you just say, what year student are you? But then here, we have Kimura's major is history, right? So now where is the subject? It would be major instead, because Kimura's is a genitive case, possessive adjective for major, right? So the major itself is the subject of the sentence. And so Kimura is still implied, right? Because you're talking to Kimura, right? So the context is in terms of Kimura's aspects, characteristics, general being, right? But it's his major that we are interested in now, right? So now the major is the subject, and so here we put the major as the subject, senkou, right? Wa nan desu ka? Right. So now this is the subject, senkou, the major, x, wa, And then nan would take the place of this y, nan, right? And nan would be filled in the answer by history, right? Major is history, des, right? And then desu is for the question, right? So to what you would ask in order to get Kimura to say rekishi desu, history, it is history, would be major, subject marker, what is it? Okay. Now we have Kimura's response for number 3. 19歳です. 19歳, right? So we've already seen sai over here in number 5, where it was referring to Yamamoto-san's age as 25 for 25, right? Sai is age. So now Kimura is responding with his age, which is 19, right? 19 is 19. Ju is 10. Q is 9. So 10 plus 9, 19. Sai desu. Age, right? I am 19 years of age. So now, I think because we now have Kimura is 19 years old, right? Kimura is the subject again. So I think we can follow the first sentence structure, and I'll check back at the textbook if this is the case. So we have nan sai. Oh, that's chi. Sai goes the other way. Sai desu ka? Okay. I'll do the next questions before I check on that answer. Number 4, Kimura responds 43の6917です. Oh, okay, got it. So, yeah, sorry, it took a bit. I think this is a telephone number. So, the telephone number is Yong, which is 4, San, which is 3, and I think the no is in order to signify the hyphen. Just like with US numbers, number to number, number to number. So for, in this case, each of these would be replaced by no, if we had to write it out. So 43の6 6 9 9 1 1 7 7. So 4 3 6 9 1 7. Okay. So now we have the sentence structure Kimura's telephone number is 436917, right? So now we have again the genitive or possessive Kimura, and then we have the telephone number as the subject. So following the logic of number 2, this would be telephone number, so that would be denwa. Te becomes de. Den-wa. Bango. Ha becomes ba. N-go. U. Wa. Nan desu ka? Na. N. Desu ka? That'd be a question there. Okay, So now we have you, and it says sumimasen, period. Ima, so now, ima, right? And Kimura's response is ima kuji. Eh? Kuji han desu. I think that should be rokuji han desu. Roku for 6. Any other numbers end with ku? Nope, that would be it. So filling in the blank, ima, I think this would just be nanji desu ka? Nanji desu ka? Okay. Okay, so now translate the following sentences into Japanese. So the first one is, are you a student? I think that would just be ka becomes ga, gakusei desu ka? Yes, I am a student at Nihon University. So it'd just be a hai. Hai. Watashi wa Nihon Daigaku. Ta becomes da. Daigaku. Ka becomes ga. Gaku no. Wait. Nihon Daigaku no gakusei desu. I'll need to check on this as well. Okay, number 2. Is Michiko a 4th year student? So we'd have Michiko wa wrong wa. Michiko wa 4年. This is something to be careful about. It's not yon nensei. It's just yonensei. I believe that would be off, so it rolls more quickly off the tongue. Yonensei desu ka? No, Michiko is a 3rd year student. So to say no, we would say ie. Michiko wa 3 for 3. 3 nensei desu. Okay. Okay, so now I'll check up on those 2. Okay, yep, so... Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Yeah, so this is good. I think the reasoning is correct here. And then that means that this would be good too. see. Let's make sure that gakusei. Wait, just ask, are you a student? Yeah, are you a student? So that'll just be gakusei. Okay, so yep, so 日本人の大学生. Alright, 日本人大学の学生. This would be student at Nihon University. But translated to Japanese, in this context, you would just have a student of, so gakusei, a student of, so the genitive possessive with this no, and then Nihon University. So if you're to translate it in the same pattern as we have here, Kimura's major or Kimura's number, this would be Nihon University's student. Okay. Michiko wa 4年生ですか? So let's take a look at how to ask what year you are, or if you are a certain year. Yeah, okay. Yep. So we're good there. Okay, there's a couple parts that need listening comprehension. Okay, answering the following questions in Japanese. So this is 1.6. We have number 1. お名前は? お名前は? お名前 is name. Wa is, well, is. Right? So, Ura Claude. Can't even spell my own name. Or Claude. Right? 仕事 or occupation. 何ですか? I am a 大学生? That's just college student. Oh yeah. I have this thing, right? 大学院生. So we have dai. Ta becomes da. Dai. Ga. Ka becomes ga. Gaku. In. In. Sei. Des. So I think that would be in kanji, dai, gaku, in, sei, des. Okay. 何年歳ですか? 何年歳ですか? What year student are you? And right now I'm going into my 4th, so 4年生. Oop. 生です. Right. 何歳ですか? 20 blank. This. Number 5. 専攻は何ですか? 専攻は何ですか? If I just want to do the ones that are listed here. Kagaku. Had to refer to that one. Kagaku. Okay. How do you say chemistry though? Is it the same as Chinese? Yep, it is the same. Okay. So this would be kagaku. Kagaku. And this is ka ga. Eh? 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 Okay. Ki mi su to ri. Chemistry. This. Yes. Okay. 電話番号は何ですか？ 111の111の1 1です。Okay, jeez, that's enough for Japanese for today. Yeah, I kind of do want to play some League. I swear if Brian sees me on, he knew how tired I was, so he'll be calling me out for it. Okay. I also had some cold sake just to cool down a bit after my shower, but it's gotten warmer. It's also not the best quality sake, so ugh. Wait, actually, just gonna get my Genshin dailies done first. Okay, yeah. So there are a couple surprises on the oh god, my coughing. There's a couple songs that surprised me on the list because Labran was holding on to the international songs list for a bit, so I didn't get to see them at first. But inside the international songs list, there's some Chinese songs, and even better, they're ones that I knew. There was Can't Help Falling in Love, the F-Civ version, F4. So that's the one I sang. And then I also say, I don't remember his actual, I don't remember how to say his name, but, what was it? So there's a movie called Cape Number 7. Definitely talked about it before in another stream, but the main character was actually a pop star in Taiwan. So he had a couple not so great, not so successful albums, but they were albums that I actually listened to a long time before Cape Number 7 came out. And so I was really happy to see those there. Actually, should have I should have been able to sing it. So I had that problem with reading the Korean on the screen, and then I also had the problem with the Japanese. So I was going to go off of my like knowledge of Can't Help Falling in Love, um, to just read it off of my phone, the lyrics. But thankfully, the lyrics on the screen actually had the pinging, the romanized lyrics, so I could actually sing it properly, mostly. Yeah. Although the raps for the Vanessa's rap in between the verses, none of them were actually like in there. So if you press the skip button to like the next singing part, it actually just skips over that part. And with how much I like to do the rap parts, it's kind of sad to see that happen. And then, yeah, so the Cave Number 7 one, I actually forgot to put them in. So maybe next time. Although Loud Brian doesn't like to sing, so he just sits there. So I'll have to wait until LA Brian comes back. Comes back down here. So I had remembered that I listened to the Cave Number 7 guys' music on an album before. Because we used to listen to it on our car rides and stuff. And my family had like a pack of CDs that were filled with like mostly like Chinese songs, right? And I downloaded all of them to my computer onto my iTunes. But I never did find that song, like the album for it. Sorry, not by that song, by the songs that were listed inside that book. I wasn't able to find that album. So, and I didn't even know who it was by, like who those songs were by. But I listened to some of the music from Cape Number 7, and lo and behold, I realized that the singer might be the same. So I literally looked up his discography, right? And the song on this album was called Serena, right? But the problem is that when he sang it, he pronounced it Serena, right? Because it had to be Chineseified, right? So I was looking all over for this Sol Reyna until I found this one album, right? I'm like, oh, thankfully the name in the album was actually in English, right? So I was able to find the album. I was able to rediscover a bunch of songs on there. And Serena and another one happened to be listed. So I definitely want to be able to sing those. As much as I said that I like blew out my throat, yeah, I'm talking quite a bit. Uh, yeah. I see Lab Brian's in game right now on League, so if he wants to play together for a little bit, then I'll join him. And end the stream here. If he's going to sleep after this game, then I'll just continue the stream in game. Oh, I think the other one that was included in that book was I Believe. Yeah, it must have been I Believe in Serena. I was kind of sad to see like they weren't like critically. The album wasn't critically acclaimed or anything. While it was such an integral part of my car rides. Like a lot of my early music taste was based on the car ride music that my mom played. Later on, it became like Now CDs. Now that's what I call music CDs. Well, we also had the first few Kibs Bops. Because as a kid, you're not going to be opposed to listening to other kids singing with you, right? And you don't have to worry about like radio version censoring or anything like that. All the lyrics for Kids Bop have already been censored. Maybe I can... Yeah, maybe I'll just spectate his game. So at the same time that, like, Now was pretty much my only glimpse at most of, like, the regular radio music, I think it became better later on. But still, those ones that I did listen to were definitely some great music. There's also music by Stephanie Sun, who's Singaporean. Oh, what was that age called? Like, Taiwanese dramas were really big, and then you also had, like, Southeast Asian dramas picking up steam, too. That stuff was cool. No, back off. Oh, I have the desktop audio on. Hopefully, it's not too much of a bother to not actually be able to see what's happening. Ooh. Oh, Summer Dance Forever is up right now. So Summer Dance Forever is a European dance battle event. It's very, very nice. Okay. And pretty often it ends up having like very up and coming or like very well established dancers competing. It's almost always like, yeah, very mainstay, very mainstream in terms of battle dance competitors, right? So maybe I'll do a little watch along of that. Maybe tomorrow. I'm mostly interested in the popping one this time around, because there's quite a few names that I recognize that are like relatively new to the competition. Yeah, it was invitation only through auditions that were posted as... it was video auditions that were sent in. So this year and last year, they had like video auditions. Last year's lineup was very much varied compared to previous years. It wasn't like the absolute superstars of the scene that were competing. Well, mostly. It was a lot... I think it was a healthier mix of competition. Although for popping side, there was only like a few of them who like really popped off that day. But they were all very enjoyable, quite high level. Yeah. I think last year Mm, probably my favorite battle from last year for popping was Soyuz versus Shiva. That was a really, really cool one. And for hip hop, I think there was quite a few for hip hop, but Rubik's was really entertaining. Yeah, if my voice is okay tomorrow, yeah, I'll do that. If popping is up, then I would do popping, and then otherwise I'll just do maybe house. I don't understand house as well. There's a lot of like flow and musicality that has to go into it, in addition to being an impressive dancer. Like last year, I still couldn't really call who was going to win the battles. But for at least some of them, I realized that after watching a little bit. Wait, how's Brian been doing in this game? Oh, KD is pretty good. Right now in Genshin, I'm just farming my daily condensed resin. I have a mostly good build for my Ayaka for artifacts. I can still improve on the goblet though. I'm trying to get at least like 20, what was it, like 26.5 or 27 crit damage on it. Right now I think I have like 21, so I'm just one roll off. But the issue is also getting the cryo damage bonus. Nice, nice. Brian's team got a pentakill. Oh. Ja. Halleluja. Mm-hmm. I was maining Ningguang for quite a time, just because I appreciate the catalyst aiming, or homing feature, right? But I think just for efficiency of the current domains that I've been running, I've been fully maining Ayaka. And I did also like try to use a Ningguang team on Abyss I don't know if Abyss just changed recently, but 12 point. Oh, yeah, it did. 2.8 version 2.8's Spiral Abyss. Yeah, but it just didn't have enough damage, even on like floor 11. So I switched over to a national team, and then an Ayaka build. Thankfully, it carried me through. But I also needed to wait a few times before I got a good RNG cycle on the the Ruined Serpent for skills. Oof. Dude, they are just ignoring Jinx while she tears apart their team. Damn, dude. Jinx didn't actually pop off that hard until, oh, wait. I think Brian's actually done with the game. How do you exit? Oh, escape, right? Alright, I'm gonna head off now to play with Brian. So thanks for joining in the stream. Hopefully tomorrow will be better than just this like short and low energy one. Thanks for watching. See ya.